So this is episode 2 of my RPG reviews playlist on YouTube. So here we have the game Triangle Strategy. This is a mental mock battle that's happening as I talk about the game here. This is from my Twitch stream. If you want to watch it, my username over there is RayTeamStrategy, while it's Green Ray over here on YouTube. I might end up changing one or both the names eventually if I'm both more popular or something. Anyway, for now, having different names is fine, I guess. Anyway, so we have, what is this game all about? It's got story-driven gameplay. The outcomes of voting determines the types of battles you'll get. You can lose party members if voting doesn't go their way. The game has multiple endings. They're presumably very different from each other. There's a wide variety of jobs. Each character has a job rank which can increase up to rank 3, and some of them start at rank 2 rather than rank 1. Each battle has its own unit limit, which is to say these are the number of units that you can deploy, which was anywhere from 9 to 12 units, if I recall correctly. There were unlockable dialogue options that don't automatically guarantee a successful persuasion attempt. This has to do with the voting. I'm not sure why I'm jumping topics like this with my script, but whatever, let's move on. Side events like the active time events from Final Fantasy IX are in this game. They're actually really done well. I think they did a better job than they did in Final Fantasy IX with these. So that was nice. Overall, I've enjoyed this game way more than Final Fantasy Tactics. I do remember playing that game. I think it's an interesting game, but I also thought it was very easy. Although I didn't necessarily try to fight super bosses in that game. I don't know if that was actually a thing. It might have been. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, that was back in a time when I wasn't sleeping very well and didn't remember things very well. But this is not part of the script. I don't know why I'm talking about Final Fantasy Tactics right now. Let's move on. But I do want to clarify that I think this game is amazing, and the little active time events, or well, they were called something else, side stories or something. They were really well done, super well done. I liked it. Anyway, unlocking story content for characters by using them during battles. This can include the practice battles. So if you like certain characters and you want to see more of their story, all you have to do is use them during battle. Pretty simple. Just level them up, and you'll get some more side stories that you'll be able to access, which is pretty cool. It's a little bit different. I would say it's blue side stories rather than green ones, if that makes sense. And you end up, selected on the map. Rather, you press start to get to them. Anyway, there are 2 equipment slots for each character, which can be managed at will. They also have weapons, which you cannot unequip or equip. They just have the same weapon the whole battle, it can get upgraded though. So there's a skill tree upgrade menu, which resembles upgrading your weapon. Most of the time, you're not actually upgrading the damage of your weapon. You upgrade hit points, speed, evasion, things like that. But you can upgrade the weapon power too. Anyways, but that's all on the skill tree. And this costs resources. So there's 4 different, 5 different resources. One's just coin. The others are, actually there's more than 5 resources, because some of those resources are actually rank increase resources. There's actually a ton of those, but we'll get to those later. Actually, this is not part of the script now that I think about it. Anyways, so the blacksmith only uses 5 resources. He uses coin, stone, timber, iron, and fiber. That's what the blacksmith uses for your skill tree. So now one thing to note about the skill tree is you cannot shift around your skills that you've learned. Like, you spend the resources, and since it's variable resources, it just lets you spend it, and then you lose it, and it's gone, and then you've invested and you've earned that skill, whether it's plus 10 HP or something else. It's always going to be that. You can't change it around, which was a thing that you could do. Changing it around was a thing you could do in Rabbids Kingdom Battle, which I liked. I liked the flexibility of being able to move that stuff around. But I'm also okay with games doing it this way too. I'm just saying that I can appreciate both styles of battle progression. And it was refreshing to see the difference in the Rabbids Kingdom Battle. But at the same time, I do feel like it kind of takes away a little bit from the sort of traditional feel of an RPG that people might feel like they are deserving of, or whatever, I don't know, entitled to, I guess I mean is the correct word. Yeah. Anyway, it's more of a traditional battle progression system like you might expect from a Final Fantasy game is basically what I'm trying to say. And that's fine. Anyway, so there were singular groups of 2 skills on characters, though, that may be shifted between battles if you wanted. So in other words, there would be maybe 3 rows, because you could upgrade your weapon twice. So there's 3 rows of skills, and there are maybe I don't know, maybe up to 4 or 5, I can't remember how many exactly, skills for each row. And I think it was usually on the second row where there would, for not all characters, but some of them would have 2 abilities kind of towards the right, but not all the way to the right. It would have 2 different skills, and of course they would have the same resource requirement to purchase, and then whenever you purchased one, it would basically unlock them both, but you could only have one or the other at any given time. So basically, in Rabbids Kingdom Battle, Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle, it was like that for everything on your skill tree. Everything was, you just earned 1 skill point, and then you just spent X number of skill points to unlock whatever. So because only the 1 resource spent on the skills. So because of that, you can just subtract the amount that you spent on it in order to apply it to something else. It was really basic, which I really, really liked. Although I will say that because Square Enix did this, or whoever it was that designed this particular part of the battle system, because they didn't let you swap it around very much, it does add a sense of realism, though, because they tied it to the resource usage, right? The coin for the blacksmith's work, as well as the timber, the iron, the fiber, and so on, right? So you spend those resources and it feels more real, and because of it, a lot of these things that this game does makes the game feel more real. That's a plus to me. So I totally support their choice to not imitate the Rabbids Kingdom Battle in the instance of the way they designed this particular game. So, well made decisions. Anyway, moving on. There were stylized word spelling and grammar in the game. So it made potential errors in script become a fantasy world curiosity rather than any sort of facepalm moments like you might normally see from an RPG. There was limited access to readers. Oh, I already talked about that. Oh my goodness, I skipped this. I skipped ahead to it. It forces you to make choices about progression for your characters. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. New Game Plus adds a lot of extra difficulty, and I haven't even started playing hard mode yet. I probably should have rearranged some of these thoughts that I had. Probably the most replayable RPG I've played since Saga Frontier. Right. So, Saga Frontier was on the gray PlayStation. It was released the same year as Final Fantasy VII. So if you haven't heard of the game before, I recommend you try it because it's another Square Enix RPG. It was an experimental game, mind you, but it was also based off of Romancing Saga 3 in some ways. You had the different main characters that you could choose, and they had their own. Well, it was a bit. They had a lot of differences. For one thing, Romancing Saga had the same main quest. Romancing Saga 3 had the same main quest for all 8 characters, but, or at least most of the characters. There might have been 1 or 2 that had a different one, but I doubt it. Anyway, but the way the way the side quests worked with the main quest, or the way like the minor tweaks to the main quest happened based on who your main character was, right? So, but in Saga Frontier it was different because instead of having 1 main quest, you had 7 main quests. And then, of course, in the remastered, you have an 8th character which interacts with those 7 main quests. Anyways, so then you have 14 main quests in the remastered, or is one way of looking at it. Or if you want to chop that up into like a Fuse story is only half of a story, then I guess that's like 10 and a half stories. But anyway, but yeah, so this game really interesting, and I'm gonna be playing it again and again. Music is strong. The only song so far that I haven't liked was the battle music I got when I fought Idor. So this was a dude from the Land of Salt. I won't talk about that too much. Fair to assume that voting differences can summon different songs at various chapters. The character personalities are about everything you would expect from a typical Final Fantasy game, which I liked. And your responses really seem to make an impact. So then you can sort of like alter Serenoa's personality if you want a little bit, which is pretty cool. Although I will say that for some of the voting dialogue, your words tend to make less impact than you would think. So definitely you cannot manipulate the other characters much at all. Just your main character. Apparently you get more information about your decisions influence during New Game Plus, although I haven't got far enough to figure out what's going on, and there isn't any sort of data log for your influence counters. You get notifications that disappear super fast, and they provide a little bit of information, but unless you're documenting these, it won't be useful information, which makes me suppose that this was a rushed feature. Thankfully, it isn't something that a dedicated fan or guide writer can't fix, or so I would presume. So, yeah, if you're looking to unlock battles that you have not unlocked yet via the voting system, then you might need to use a guide. I'm not sure, though. You might be able to figure it out if you just play the game enough, which is pretty fun to do, to be fair, so I don't see a problem with that. It might be difficult to unlock. Okay, I already said that, kind of. Once I failed to get the outcome that I wanted on my failed first playthrough. And this was out of like, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 voting sessions. I'm not sure how many of them there were. But not every single chapter had them. But there were quite a few chapters that had them. I would say that there were maybe about 6 of them or so, but I'm not sure. It could have been as many as 10. But anyway, let's go back and check. Yeah, so I'm coming back to this game whenever I feel like playing a handheld game, or when I want to play an RPG on stream, but I don't have any challenge runs to finish up. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be trying this out. If just for the sake of, this is going to be my favorite RPG to just chill with moving forward. Basically, is what it comes down to. Maybe given enough time, I might play the game competitively, but who knows? Probably not. But anyway. So that's about it. Thanks everyone for listening. I'm going to be making more RPG reviews soon. I finished quite a few RPGs before this one, but I didn't review them in between now and the Shin Megami Tensei 5 review. So look forward to some more episodes of me reviewing some RPGs. I'm going to have to write some more scripts, and hopefully we'll make those shorter. But this one deserved to be a little bit longer because this game was amazing. Alright, that's about it. Thanks everyone for listening.